I didn't realize I was suffering from anxiety for years because I didn't experience the traditional panic attacks. If you suffer from anxiety, you brace yourself, or constantly thinking over every scenario in your head, then this video might be for you. What I did experience was worrying, ruminating, overthinking, people pleasing. The hidden nature of anxiety. Anxiety is the signpost that there is hidden shame stirring. Most people don't realize that they're probably also experiencing shame attacks. Anxiety creates action, while shame creates shutdown. Anxiety helps to shake you up and notice the buried shame. It's actually a physiological reaction in the body to unmet needs. Dr. Gabor Mate explains how an infant will experience anxiety and begin to cry. And this is a primal and healthy way in which the infant can get the attention of the caretaker. If the caretaker then tends to the need of the infant, the anxiety will subside, which creates a healthy feedback loop. Shame and anxiety correlation. Shame is traditionally the belief that I am bad, I am unlovable, and I am unworthy. And it's frequently the root of social anxiety, performance anxiety, and perfectionism. Both shame and anxiety activate the brain's survival system, designed to prevent social rejection, shame, and physical danger, anxiety. Shame often leads to withdrawal, social isolation, and people-pleasing. A cognitive loop, negative self-talk. Shame generates negative core beliefs. I am not good enough. I'll be humiliated if people find out who I really am, which leads to behavioral consequences. These behaviors increase anxiety because you might not be practicing confident, secure social interaction. You don't get the chance to build real self-worth and resilience. This can also result to masking or overcompensating. Healing shame reduces and can cure anxiety. Reducing shame directly lowers anxiety by shifting from self-judgment to self-compassion. Building secure relationships where authenticity is safe. And reframing core beliefs through shadow work, inner child work, somatic therapy, and EMDR, to name a few. Shame is the hidden fuel behind much of our anxiety. When we subconsciously believe that we're flawed or unworthy, then the world becomes a threat and anxiety becomes constant, even if it's running in the background. My fastest tool for relief. One of the quickest ways I use to manage shame and anxiety is to simply reset my vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the main nerve of the parasympathetic system, the rest and digest system. Here's what I do. I sit or lie down with a straight spine, while keeping my neck and head completely still and neutral. I gaze my eyes completely to the right. I hold that gaze for as long as it takes until I get a deeper breath or an audible sigh. While maintaining a neutral, still head, I then gaze my eyes as far as I can to the left, breathing deeply until I get an audible sigh or a deeper breath. The second method is to simply place 2 fingers on the left side of the back of my occiput. I hold these fingers firmly for about 30 seconds. This creates a cardiac inhibitory function that slows the heart and calms the body, and it works fast. Rumination and the mind stories. Once I began responding to my anxiety, then my worry, overthinking, and rumination began to dissolve. The moment I realized my mind makes up stories, I had a moment where I thought to myself, I must be sad. But the truth was, I wasn't feeling sad. I was just telling myself I was sad. I realized I was actually having a physiological anxiety response. And my mind was creating a story saying, I must be sad. That's when I learned that the mind makes up stories, because the mind is meant to solve problems, and it wants to find a solution fast, regardless if it's accurate or not. Recognizing shame attacks. Once I began observing and calming my rumination, I would observe my mind trying to blame shift, which helped name what was really happening, a shame attack. And I learned that shame is a default response to unmet needs, emotional abandonment, and early childhood disconnection. As children, we solve the pain of rejection with the story that there must be something wrong with me. We are self-centric, and the brain loves to solve problems. If love and met needs are not consistent, then the child will always assume that I am bad, it's my fault, I'm not worthy, and I'm not lovable. The root of the loop, tracking back. For me, anxiety is my body's way of helping me acknowledge that there are hidden emotions and unmet needs that I need to tend to. And any strong emotion that I feel is never just about the present moment. It's always a loop. And that loop originates at the first time I felt that emotion. So my process now is this: let the feeling guide me backwards. Locate the part of my consciousness that first felt this. Offer care and meet the needs of that younger self. That's how I release trapped, stagnant anxiety and return to calm. I call this process the trust fall method. It's falling inward into trust and letting my emotions guide me to the root. The relief is instant because I meet the actual need, not bypass it or mask it. And for me, this is more effective than journaling or mindset shifting. If you want to explore this, I created a free inner child guidebook and worksheet. Sign up for it on my website and simply write inner child in the description. This is how I learned to use shame and anxiety to take care of my nervous system and the younger me that just wants to be seen.